ableist. It's, you know, and the amount of times I'm looking at it thinking, this person's got, if you listen to their jokes, I look for, I don't know if you do the same, I look for punchlines, I look for if it's coming, and their speech is slowed, but I still don't get the punchline, and it hits me hard.
And it's good.
Now, me calling you that, right, that's two mates having a laugh, but if I heard someone saying that to you across the street, Google Douglas Carter, Jeremy Kyle, I'm not telling you about that, it's a long story.
You don't need to. So why don't you tell them in your words what you did to wind me up?
But he was like, yeah, your joke is not true.
Where was he from? Scotland?
Yeah, your joke. It could be from any Eastern European country.
Really
next day, the world ended. Right, so basically, I was at work one day and...
yeah, he took my sticks off me. I have never felt so unstable. You ready?
I was born ready.
Cool. You ready? We are?
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, welcome to another episode of the Unstable Podcast with me, Ricky Balshaw, and you will recognise the guy sat next to me because if we count season 1, this is your third appearance on this pod.
Yeah, I started in your original
bedroom.
studio.
The original studio that I lost when Hannah moved in.
Is that now her cubbyhole?
It's now her office.
Yeah.
And the irony is she earns far more in that room than I ever did.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she earns more in a single day in that room than I ever did combined with this. So it was put to, good use. It was put to good use.
Sound.
But for those who haven't seen you before, look into either one of them two cameras, tell them who you are, what you do.
My name's Doug Carter. I'm a telehandler by day, stand-up comedian by night.
And online content creator.
Oh, yeah. I'll do videos and stuff. In fact, I did videos before I did stand-up. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how we're probably going over trodden ground now, so we'll briefly talk about it for the people who are sort of new to the podcast. You started online before you even did your first.
Yeah. Well, I was making stupid videos, and people started following me.
Speaking in the past tense, there, mate. You still do make stupid videos.
Yeah, but I just sort of like blogged my life and stupid things that happened, and then people started following that, and then that led into the that Jeremy Kyle thing that happened, and then from that. Google Douglas Carter, Jeremy Kyle. I'm not telling you about that. It's a long story.
You don't need to Google it. Just go onto older episodes and look at the story on there.
Did we talk about it on there?
We sure did.
All right, yeah. And then that showed me the power of social media. And then I got into comedy. And getting into comedy, I already had a backlog of material. Yeah. So I moved quite quick at the start.
Yeah. And even now, you'll use the social media platforms to practice your new material.
That's what I do. Yeah. Because it used to be like open mic, didn't it? You go to open mic and try all your new stuff. 10 minutes and you might get 1 minute, whereas I do it online and that I risk people going, this is fucking shit, and I'm like, yeah, I know, because it's brand new, but it's all content then, isn't it? Because I get to abuse the dickheads.
And we'll talk about that in a bit because I had a bit of hassle last week. But I'll talk about that later on in the pod because I want to at least make the first bit about you. So anyone who's been following this podcast or even my journey or Doug's journey, you'll know that Doug was there at my very first gig. Yeah, my very first little 10 spot, and we've just become great mates. I was going to be nice then and say you're probably my best mate in comedy.
I've been there for. I was there for your first gig. I was there for
my first death.
Your first death. That was beautiful. Just watching you crumble. My mates are coming tonight, and then seeing you come off stage like. Felt like your world was over.
It was horrific.
It was brilliant. I loved it.
Like in hindsight, now love it. Like I love thinking about it, talking about it, going over it, relaying it, telling people. In the moment, oh mate,
we've seen it from two different angles because you had the death of all deaths and come off destroyed, and I was sitting there trying to be as like, look.
These things happen.
Yeah, these things happen. You can't win them all. Whereas in my head, I was going, ah!
I suppose from your point of view as well, like, obviously we were mates by that point anyway. Yeah. And, like, I had, especially early doors, had quite a quick rise.
Oh, man, you fucking smashed every gig that you'd been on. So that's why it was so beautiful to see you go from smash to crash.
And honestly, from my point of view, right, like, I was thinking, I'm smashing this. I am. I'm the next Gervais. Like, I'm thinking I am the Boggs Dollocks.
You needed
Do you know what I mean?
that.
I did.
You needed that to bring you down to earth.
Absolutely needed it.
Big-headed cunt.
In hindsight, but it wasn't. I don't think I was getting arrogant with it. I just thought I'm really good at this. I've made a right decision here. And then I had that deaf, and I thought, maybe I've made a mistake.
Well, I told you that on your first gig, everybody died in that room, and I was comforting a guy, and then I introduced you on stage, and you died. You smashed it. Sorry, and I was like, oh shit! I just told him it's the audience's fault
because it was George's name was. I'm not going to mention the second name, but George's name was. I don't know if you remember.
Lovely young lad.
Lovely lad, and. It was his first gig as well, but he'd been going to the bush for about 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever, watching, then finally got the courage up to do it. Everybody had died up until that point, except for you. You were comparing, you were doing it.
Mate, to be honest...
They know you there.
To be honest, he, like you say, he'd been there 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
The time I emceed before, which I think was the week before, or he was there, and everyone had a banger. Right. So he's come on with the confidence of what happened the last week, but at the bush... Every week the audience is different.
And so what had happened was everyone had a bad one, and then but you were having an okay one, and then he went on and had a terrible one. He died.
Yeah, really
and I
bad.
remember you speaking to him, and you said, "Look, mate, I'm going to do it. It's not you, it's them." And you were really trying to help this young lad out. It's not you, it's them. You went, "Look, I'm going to do a joke now. It always works. I bet in this room it fails." And you did it, it failed, and just while you were on stage, you looked at him and you went, see?
Mate, what actually happened there was I'd done that joke in front of him the week before. Right. So when we were outside after he'd been on and I could see that he was distraught, I said, remember last week when I did the tattoo joke? I says, it slammed, didn't it? And he went, yeah. I said, different audience this week. I'm going to do it again, watch it die.
Yeah.
And it did, and that's when I've gone, see, I told you, it's not you, it's them.
And then I think
next up, Ricky Balshaw. And then he fucking tore it up. And I was shocked that was your first ever gig.
I remember you coming up to me and you went, come here. It was literally like, come here, you.
Come here, you.
Because we'd spoke beforehand and I'd said, oh, it's my first gig. And you came up to me and you went, was that really your first gig? I was like, yeah. And you went, did you practice? Yeah. I was like, yeah, I did. I said, I'll practice in front of the mirror.
And you mentioned you'd done motivational talking. I was like, but I didn't know nothing about you doing the slalom. Dressage. And you walk like you're doing the slalom, sorry.
And you told me to go and have a word with that young lad.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, because I didn't feel qualified. It was my first gig and I just didn't feel...
Yeah, but what I was getting at was because you'd practiced, you'd done the motivational talking, so you already had that behind you. So it was like, just to give him a few tips as if to say, practice beforehand and like, does he still do it or?
No.
Because
he still goes to the bush occasionally.
Yeah.
I still talk to him though. He messages me now and again. He's a lovely, lovely lad. And he's really supportive of me and my career. And when he's not at uni, he'll come and watch my gigs and stuff and I always get him in for free.
Well, he never says never, just because the thing is that day as well, like when I said earlier he died really bad, that ain't a put down. Everyone did.
Everyone was having
apart from this prick. And I had an okay one.
Then, you had a good one. You were comparing, cheers. You had a good one.
Yeah.
And then from that gig, I'd done about, 18, 20 gigs.
Bangers.
Like, an absolute bang. Like, I'd ripped it and everyone. And there was a lot of, like, my name was travelling through the open mic
people
circuit.
Were talking.
Not through, like, pro clubs. I wasn't anywhere. But through the open, I was travelling quick.
Yeah.
And then I got this first opening. I'd done 20s, I'd done like middle 20s for like 30, 40 quid here and there. And then I got offered a 50 quid opener in Hereford. I was like, I'm in. Yeah, man. Do this. Fucking don't worry about it. Invited all my mates. Invited loads of my family. Fucking come on, let's do this. Fucking died.
Oh, it was beautiful. To watch from the sidelines was just, honestly, it was glorious.
So what I was getting at in bringing all that up, me and Doug are fucking great mates. I love you to bits. And it's really nice because I feel, and I think you'll agree with what I say now, and I don't mean it arrogantly, but you at the start really sort of helped me and you opened a lot of doors and you got me speaking to the right people. And it's nice now that I'm able to we're sort of helping each other.
Yeah.
You're still opening doors for me and I'm in, it's nice that...
I'll do that to anyone though, mate.
Anybody who's good, I'll do it for.
No, even if they're not good,
I won't recommend them if they're shit.
No, not recommend, but I'll still try and help people. I think it's nice to be nice. You know, in this game, there's some lovely people. There's some cunts as well, but it's the same in every industry, isn't it? You've just got to find the right people. And
well, I worked with an actor the other day, didn't I? At Comedia, that young lad, and I phoned you up on the way home. I says, mate, if this guy applies, Diesel.
Yeah.
If this guy applies, he'll be really good in your room. And it's just that, putting in words with people, it's what we need to do. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're mates outside of comedy as well. We're mates. You know, we're good. And you've had a few problems lately.
Yeah.
And I've been very worried about you, mate. And I came and saw you and stuff. So let's
not talk about.
Let's
yeah.
What were your first? What word shall I use? What went wrong? What was going on? What was going on?
Okay. So life was normal.
Yeah.
It was. Life was going how it normally does, and then I got this like weird spot in the corner of my left eye.
Yeah.
Next day, the world ended. Right. So basically, I was at work one day, and I got this little spot in my eye, on my left eye up here, and then it seemed to gradually move down to the middle. And when it moved down to the middle, I'd shut that eye, look out that eye, and I couldn't see from there upwards. So I could just see the bottom, and it was weird. I'd be looking at my telly, shut that eye, and half the telly I couldn't see. And I thought I'd best go to the doctors. But I couldn't get in, obviously.
Of course not.
So I asked for a phone consultation, and this is while I was at work on a Thursday. And when I give the doctor my symptoms over the phone, I think it was about 2:30, they went, "You need to go to the hospital now." And I was like, "What? I've only just got this job. I need to carry on." And they went, "Lose your job or lose your eye." I was like, "Whoa!" So I shit myself.
That's a hell of a sentence to hear.
Yeah. Especially when you're just like, "Oh, it's just one of them."
See, I'm very much like you. I went to the doctors recently because I had a lump by my nipple and I was just ignoring it, but Hannah made me go. I went into the doctors and they were like, "Oh, you just never come in here, do you?" I'm like, "No, because things pass over times."
Been 30 years since I've been.
It's mad. But she said because of that, people they'll take you more seriously when you do go. People who are wasting their time, they get all the time and just fuck them off.
Hypochondriacs.
Exactly. If you only go in when you're actually worried, they're right, there's something wrong with this guy.
But here's the thing with this as well, though. I'll get to that in a minute, what you've just mentioned there. But I basically had to drop everything and go to the hospital. I said, "Can I go after work?" And they were like, no, go now. So I've gone to the hospital. The first nurse has asked me a load of questions and stuff. And then she's gone out the room, came back after she'd give what I'd said to the doctor and came back and she went,
"Oh...
1 minute.
Here we go.
I'm just doing a podcast, Lynn." I'm sorry. That's all right.
Do you know what would really help us grow is if you could subscribe to the channel and like the videos. It'll cost you nothing and it really helps the podcast to grow.
Airplane mode incoming.
Yeah, or just silent.
Airplane mode. Wait a minute. Where is it? I can't
Top.
see without my glasses
Top.
on. Oh, yeah. So where was I? So I had to go to the hospital. She looked into me and she was like, "You need to come back tomorrow." And that was when I was like, "Hold on a minute."
You said the doctor. The
nurse went out to the doctor.
Yeah.
Brought him back, and she went, "We need you back here tomorrow." And that's when I'm like,
Sorry, I'm just laughing because Mikey writes notes to me on the thing, and we've just corrected Doug's mic, and he's just wrote "perfect bastard."
Yeah,
it just tickled me. Sorry, carry on, carry on, you perfect bastard.
Yeah. So I keep losing my train of thought now.
Yeah,
You're in the hospital.
You're in the hospital.
Yeah,
nurse told you that you got to come back.
Yeah. So that obviously then pickled my head a little bit because I was like, "What the fuck, man?" So,
and I know your head was pickled because you'd spoke to me, you'd phoned me up.
Yeah.
So I knew you weren't in a good place mentally.
Yeah, so I came back in the next day and they did all these tests where it was like a fucking Death Star, like this big white thing. I had to put my head on this thing looking into, and then they just put lights up everywhere, and that eye was sound. That eye, it turns out I could see above, But it was bang in the middle of my eye. I just couldn't see. And they went, right, you need to come back next Thursday. They went, we think it could be optic neuritis or neurosis or something like that. But if it's not that, we'll look into other things. And I said, what are the other things? I wish I'd never fucking asked.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, there was a few things. Obviously, the big C and something else that I'll tell you in a minute. So anyway, I've gone away.
Okay.
I come back the next week, told work. Came in on the Thursday, 3:00 on the Thursday. The doctor started looking at it again, and he said, well, he said to me initially, he went, we need to do an MRI. I'm going to rush this through, which another thing was like an alarm bell with me. He says, it normally takes 6 weeks. I'll try and rush it through for 2. I went, okay. So I came back the next Thursday, and when I went back the next Thursday, he started looking at it again, and he says, behind your eye looks normal. So they flash this thing through that can see behind. It's fucking mental, isn't it? But then he went, when's your MRI booked in for? I said, middle of March. He went, no, I'm not having that. You're staying in. I went, what? He went, it'll rush through quicker.
That's always a bad sign as well. Well, it's good that you get in, but it's obviously a sign that they
worried.
Concerned.
Yeah. He wanted to see further back. He says it was along the retina. And the big C thing, when he said it, I was like, fuck. So from walking in thinking, to here's your bed, you're in it,
Well, I was worried for you because obviously we'd been very communicative during this point. And I don't think I've mentioned this on the pod, but my mum a few years back, she had a reaction to the COVID jab and got polymyalgia, which is like inflammation within the muscle joints.
Fibromyalgia?
No, polymyalgia. Poly.
Okay.
And then linked to that is something called GCA, polymyalgia is swelling, as I say, within the muscle fibers of your big muscle groups, and really, really painful. And then this GCA is a form of swelling behind the eye that pushes on the optic nerve and can make you go blind, and then the swelling continues and it can kill you. And she ended up in hospital on IV steroids. She'd been in bed for like 3 days, and that by the time I talked her to go into the doctor and stuff, they said she was like 36 hours away from losing her sight and like 3 days away from dying. So knowing your symptoms, I was really worried and really glad that they were making you stay in.
Well, maybe that was another thing that they hadn't mentioned, but it possibly could have been. But they had to do the MRI to be able to look further back than what they could see through this thingy bob. So anyway, I'm on this ward. They're checking everything out, and he said to me, he says, there is this other thing that it could be, but that's normally in 20 to 30-year-old women. And I said, well, I have grew tits, so that does make sense. But he was like, yeah, you joke, it's not true.
Where was he from? Scotland?
Yeah, you joke. It could be from any Eastern European country.
A really poor Borat.
Yeah. I've been practicing on the Polish labourer at work.
That wasn't Polish.
It was. You want to hear him? That's exactly how he speaks.
I promise you, that did not sound Polish.
Well, this Polish man must not sound Polish then, because that is him.
I think what you're hearing to what we're hearing is different.
Yeah, all right. Well, okay. So
watch this episode back.
Yeah, watch it back, man. Yeah,
all right. I had an MRI, and then when I come back from the MRI, he said, "You have got optic neurosis." He said, "But it looks like you've also got MS."
So the optic neuritis, that on its own would have actually been quite a good diagnosis, because
that's the diagnosis I wanted.
Yeah, that's just a few days of intravenous steroids and it's potentially sorted.
Yeah,
it
3
might
days.
Come back again, but then you just have 3 days again.
Yeah. But he ruled out the big C.
Yeah.
He says, good news, it's not the big C. Bad news, you've got MS. And I was like, fuck. So like while I was at home as well, in the week that I'd gone home, I was having a patch over my eye. And then, like, obviously, he's told me that. Then I had to go for another MRI. He said, we need to see how far this has gone now. So I didn't know. I know nothing about MS at all. All I know is that years ago when people got it, it was a degenerative thing. And basically a death sentence. You're gonna die. You're gonna degenerate,
there's
and
no
it's
cure,
gonna. Yeah, there's no cure. So when I got that diagnosis, I've just gone, fuck,
Shit.
you know, because it's like your fucking world had like spun around then.
But I'm going to ask you something. So in the lead up, so you go in and they're worried. You know they're worried, and you haven't got any answers. I just from the outside looking in, I know your head was spun in that 2 weeks. Everything was going through your head. It could be X, it could be Y, it could be Z, not knowing. At least when you got the diagnosis, was it a little bit relieving? No. Oh, because for me, in situations that I've been in like that, or when I've been around people in situations like that, it's the not knowing is worse, anxiety-wise, in a lot of ways. Then when you know, at least you can make a plan. At least, you know.
I think the cancer thing was the main thing. You know, when he mentioned the big C, that was the main thing. And like I say, I knew nothing about MS at that point. But then when he told me like what it was, then I started asking the questions, and I'll get to them answers in a second. But what I was going to try and say was he wanted to check if it went, because there's a few types, and I didn't realise. I thought MS is MS. You don't know, do you? And like since meeting you, I know now that the spastic side of what you've got is. It's different in different people.
So
there's
with cerebral palsy, there are two main categories, but then there are subcategories within that. So you've either got the spastic type, like what I've got, or the other type where there's not enough spasticity in the muscles, which I don't know. But then within that, it can be diaplegia spastic, hemiplegia spastic.
So there's loads of different,
which basically means it's just your legs, or it's just your arms, or it's just one side, or it's just the other side, or you know.
See,
so there
for
are
me,
so many
with you,
sub things.
Before I met you, I only knew of cerebral palsy as being cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy,
but then I found out that there's loads of subcategories now, you know.
And it's the same with MS.
Yeah. Well, it's the same with cancer and everything, but you know, you're naive to it, ain't you? So then I had to go for another MRI.
We're not an expert in anything until we need to be.
No, that's right. I didn't know how to make videos until I started making videos, you know.
You didn't know how to roll till you wanted to.
Yeah. One of my mates still fucking can't. I've never seen such baggy spliffs in my life.
I can't. I'm
not surprised. With your French fry fingers.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with my French fry fingers.
I love them. I bet the women do as well.
Just on that subject, I can make any spliff you want.
Can you?
Yeah.
What, tulips and all sorts?
Everything.
Great.
I'm a proper artist when it comes
I'm gonna hold you to that one day.
Cool.
Okay. So I didn't know about all the different categories of MS, and then they had to send me for another MRI to see if it was in my arteries, or if it was in my spine. And they did that, and it came back, and he went, "Good news, it's only in your head." I was like, "Whee, great news!
Hooray! It's just in the thing that controls everything."
Yeah. But then they took me. I'd been on a ward up until then that wasn't neurological. It was just a ward, and I'd been in 2 different wards, and everyone was fucking sound. It was like, ooh, we had a right community spirit. It was great. And then they went, right, well, now we know what you've got. We're going to take you to the Neuro ward. And I went over to this Neuro ward. Fucking hell.
Well, mate, I don't know what you're expecting from a Neuro ward.
Well, I've never been.
It's head stuff in it in a neuro
but I didn't
ward,
know what.
No, of course,
I didn't know what I was walking into.
Yeah.
I'd gone from this ward with just like old people and young people, and we were all sitting there and whatever, to this ward with a guy next to me that's got like a scar across his head. And as soon as they wheeled me in, there was a guy opposite me had a helmet on and was sort of dribbling. There was a guy in the corner.
Wasn't me.
No. This guy had serious issues. There was a guy in the corner having speech therapy, but the guy next to me, I got into the bed, and then they've wheeled this guy in. He had this scar across his head like
Was he the guy that was there when I came?
No, you never came to this room.
Oh, is it a different one?
Yeah. So I get to this room, and they wheeled this guy in, and he's sitting there, and then there's an African nurse opposite him watching the guy with the helmet on and watching him, because it's like 1-to-1. I didn't realise 1-to-1, you know, like, and the guy next to me, he's just sat up and he went, "Will you tell this guy to stop wheeling me around in my bed?" And he's looking around like that at this guy that ain't there, and the nurse is going,
Don't do
"Will
the
you
accent.
No, I'm doing it. Will you stop wheeling him around?" And I've looked at this nurse and I've gone, and he went like that. And then I've realised that he's just going along with
Just
what this.
humouring.
Well, not humouring him,
Well, no,
making him feel at ease,
Yeah.
like what he's seeing is there.
That's
because
what I meant by humour.
Yeah, yeah.
Going with his hallucination.
So then I'm seeing, like, he was going, will you tell him to stop wheeling my bed around? Stop wheeling his bed around. And I was like, fucking hell, man.
That was much better than the other accent you did, by the way.
Thank you.
That was a lot more accurate.
Thank you. Yeah, I do try. Or maybe I'll stick to the African accent then.
The Polish guy at your work is winding you up, mate.
Yeah. So anyway, I looked around there and I was thinking, then I started asking the questions anyway about this. And a doctor came in and they went, right, now we've diagnosed you. I was on the ward for probably 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then this nurse came in. She was like, right, so we found out exactly what it is. What do you know about it? And I went, it's a death sentence. And they went, nah. I says, well, what can you tell me about it? And then she said, she went, look, medical science has changed a lot now to how it used to be. You can live like a relatively normal life. It is degenerative. We're going to give you all these things to read up about it. I'm not going to lie to you. I've read none of it, right? Well, only because I'm not ready yet. You know, I'm not ready to look into it. I just wanted to get my head sort of back to normal. The steroids now, if I shut that eye and look out of that eye, I can see now. Like I couldn't. They were holding their hands in front of my face, and I couldn't see. I mean, put one hand up and show me fingers. 4, 3, 9. No, I can see 2. Yeah. So I can see now.
You don't know how hard that was.
Yeah, I do. So but that's what I mean. You've trained yourself to do that, haven't you? So like things have come back now.
So if you're looking at Ricky now, can you see me? So look at Ricky. Can you?
Yeah. I can see you. I can see you, but I couldn't before. So the steroids have done it.
Yeah.
But here's what I was going to get at as well. Since I've had a lot of people reach out, because while I was in hospital, I was blogging, I was doing food reviews, and I was talking about what was going on and stuff. Yeah,
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'll just explain why I say that. I've spent a lot of time in hospital, as you can imagine, and I know that it just drives you fucking insane, the boredom. So I didn't tell you what to do, but I told you, do something with the time. Blog it, do something. And it wasn't a piece of advice for you to explode online or anything. It was to keep you focused and sane. Because there's nothing worse than sitting in that hospital bed without anyone there and just fucking festering in your own worry and anxiety. So that's why I told you to do that. Yeah. And I'm glad I did. Yeah. Because you've told me it really helped. Yeah, but since then, obviously, I went through like doing the food reviews and like not knowing how bad it was, to all of a sudden going, so guys, I've got my diagnosis. I've got MS. Hey! But then I had a load of people start messaging me and saying, I've got it. This is when I started to find out about it, and people were telling me about it. And I've got a friend that went blind in one eye, and she said, like, I explained it like if I shut that eye, it looked like I was looking through tracing paper so I could see stuff, but I couldn't see it clearly. She went, that happened to me, but I don't think she got to it in time, and now she's got that completely in one eye because I got there as soon as it happened. I've got there. So if anything, if you get something go wrong with you, don't fucking leave it, man. Yeah, and I'm going to totally contradict what I said earlier, because I was saying, oh yeah, I'm the type of guy that doesn't go unless it's needed, blah blah blah, and you're the same. But my dad got diagnosed with prostate cancer, and they caught it early enough to treat because he went early. Right. Your sight was saved because you went early. Okay. My chest, had it have been the big C, they said it was at a size where it would have been caught early to treat. Luckily it wasn't, it was just a cyst, fine. So although I'm giving it the big one and saying that, like... Oh, we all did that when we were younger. We were like, I'll be all right. Yeah. But then as you get older, man, you just don't know. Because what you've just said about the bowel cancer thing, when you hit 50... sorry, bowel cancer. With your dad? Prostate cancer, yeah, with your dad. Sorry. That's okay, I just got confused. Well, with the cancer then, when you hit 50, they send you this thing through the post. Here's another thing, of the amount we all get shit sent to us through the post, isn't it? I've actually
had to test my poo and send it through. I've actually sent shit through the post. It's fucking mental, right? But this is the thing, right?
They didn't request it. He just thought,
well, have this.
I'm just not a fan of politics. So I sent it to Downing Street.
But I'm nearly 51 now.
Yeah.
And I've had this thing sitting on the side for almost a year, and the missus has kept saying to me, "You need to do that. You need to do that. If you don't do it, and it is, they can catch it quicker if they know." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it."
Yeah.
Same as that.
Mate,
until this happened, and then I've come home from this, and I was like,
and I'm dipping everything.
Yeah,
mate.
right. I need to get so within a day of being back home, I thought, right, send your shit through the post.
Yeah.
So I did, and it's opened my eyes up now to. I'm probably going to be the hypochondriac now. I'm at the age where, but it's better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
But I did feel like my world, like when my missus come to pick me up and take me home, I felt like my head had gone. And here's the beautiful thing, right? Like, you know how I am in life.
Yeah.
I'm a fuck it kind of guy.
Happy-go-lucky.
Well, this has happened. Let's deal with it. But that initial thing when I'm driving home in the car with my missus, my head had gone a little bit, and I sat there and I've just gone.
I know.
I've just gone fuck like that, and then like I could see my missus pussyfooting around me a little bit. But this is what the beauty of having who I've got around me. As I'm getting closer to home, she went, "Don't worry, I'll look after you when we get home, one-eyed Willie." I was like, so instantly I've giggled at that.
Yeah.
And she'd actually told me that my son had said as well, "Mum, is Dad going to die?" And she went, no, he'll be all right. So when I've come in, I could see like the joy in his eyes that I was home. And then he spoke to his mother and then looked round at me and just went, "Arr." And I was like, oh. And then instantly that sort of like pulled my head out my arse.
Yeah.
And I just felt, do you know what? I'm back now.
Yeah.
It's still there, but I am back now.
Yeah, we'll get to that because we had a few conversations that I want to touch upon as well. And also I want to talk about the absolute genius, what would have been wind up had it have gone successfully that you tried to do at me in the hospital. Yeah, leave it there.
That in the
Hold
Patreon.
that. Yeah, no. We're going to do it in the second part.
Oh, is this just the first half?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're going to
right.
go for a quick break now. We're going to go for a quick. We've got a little advert for the sponsor. Stick around because
was
you are
beautiful.
absolutely gonna want to hear what Doug did to me in the hospital to try and wind me up. We will see you in a few minutes. Thank you very much. Come back, Trap. If you're into Pokemon, Warhammer, Yu-Gi-Oh, Dungeons and Dragons, or anything like that, get yourself down to Triple C in Siston, Leicester, where they can take care of all of your needs. They're also a CGC specialist, so if you find any comics or cards knocking around in your grand's attic, get them over there, get them graded, and you never know, you might be sat on a fortune. If you're listening to this podcast, you get 10% discount on all of the CGC products using code UnstableCGC10, and they'll give you 20% off all of the Warhammer products using discount code Unstable20. Thanks very much. Back to the pod. Welcome back to part 2 of the Unstable podcast with me, Ricky Balshaw. Perfect. I asked him if he was ready, and then he has to clear his vote. You know what I mean? Right, okay, you ready? Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around, mate. That's cool. So,
You're not going to do that again?
hey, do you want me to do it again?
Just going to keep going.
Just keep going. Fuck it.
Yeah, just fucking welcome back. Doug's still here. We like high quality content here on the Unstable podcast. So why don't you tell them in your words what you did to wind me up?
Right, so obviously, as you know, Ricky is a Paralympic silver gold medalist, and he said he was going to pop in to see me, and one of the nurses used to knock around with my uncle.
Because I went to see him because I'm concerned that he's a mate, and I love the guy.
Yeah. And this nurse, I started speaking to her, and I says, my pal's coming in to see me. Says he walks like he's doing the slalom, and she went, "What do you mean?" I says, "Oh, he's got cerebral palsy." Like I says, he's dealt with it really well though because he's a Paralympian. She went, "Oh, I watched the Paralympics. What sport was it?" And I said, "Dressage." She went, "That's my favourite sport. Anything with horses, I love it." And I was like, "Oh, you might have seen him then." I says, "You heard of this guy?" And I showed her a picture.
No.
No, she did. She did.
Okay.
She did remember you. She went, "I've seen him." And I says, "Oh yeah." I says, "A funny thing happened." where I went round to his friend's house, Lee Pearson, isn't it?
Yeah.
I went round to his friend's house, Lee Pearson, and he's obviously got Sir Lee Pearson.
Lee Pearson.
And he's got this cabinet with all his medals in and his trophies and stuff. And when I walked in, I've looked at all these trophies. I was like, Jesus Christ, man, he's got some trophies. I said, you should have brought your one round, Ricky. She's giggled about it. And then I thought, right, when he comes in, I says, we'll set him up. So the plan was for Ricky to come in and for her to say, oh, I remember you from Paralympics, Lee Pearson. And that was the plan. So he was going to get hyped up, and then she was going to drop that and he was going to go, but when he came in and sat down, it was that quick of a thing that she was off doing the food.
I think she panicked.
Yeah. She's not as prepped as comedians,
She's not a performer, is she? Yeah.
But it worked perfectly because
what accidentally happened was even better. I think.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, she was cussing afterwards, saying, "Oh, I messed that up." I said, "You fucking didn't." Because as she walked in, Ricky's sitting there, and Ricky's like, "Look round her."
I'm here. Doug is sort of to my right, and there's the doorway to my left where this nurse walks in with a little trolley.
But then as she's walked in, they've clocked eyes.
You see movement, don't you? So
and as they've looked, she went, Paralympics, and he
just like was so shocked. She like dropped everything. She went, Paralympics.
But the look on Ricky's face was the look of like, oh, she knows who I am, and then but she lost her train of thought then, and she just went, gold medal, and he went, silver. Like, and I've just gone, bah! I just broke down laughing, and then he's looked round at me and went, you set this up, haven't you, you prick? And
I said to him, you've set this up, haven't you? And he went, yeah. He's filming it with him. But it would have made a really funny clip, but he'd taken a fucking picture instead of pressing record.
Because it was so like quick last minute. The plan was for us to walk down the corridor and for her to come walking down and see him. But because of the food coming out, she got busy with that. But that moment, just getting the medal wrong,
was funny.
Oh, it was
so
gold.
She went gold medal. I was like, nah. But the thing is, I get it all the time, and I'm so used to it because it's like, oh, you gold medal? No, silver. Thanks. Yeah, I was the best loser.
It was beautiful.
It was good.
It was beautiful.
It would have been good. I wish you'd have actually filmed that because that would have been fucking
I got
hilarious.
a good picture.
Great. We'll perhaps use it as the thumbnail for this. But yeah, that was great. And I was really, like, for me as a mate, I don't know how many visits and stuff you had, but I really wanted to make the point of coming to see you because I've been in that position, mate. I've been in the hospital bed, just bored shitless, and I just wanted to come and kill a bit of time for you.
Well, I had a friend as well come round to my house afterwards, and this is what got me thinking about how people look at MS as well. Like I said earlier, we thought it was a death sentence, but medical science has moved on that much now that you can live like a normal life. Don't get me wrong, I've heard some scare stories about it, but it showed me since coming out of hospital how other people see it because they've got the same perception as what I had. Because I've got this good friend he's like my best friend since school.
Yeah.
He phoned me up and he was like, "Oh, you're home now, ain't you?" I says, "Yeah." He says, "I'm going to pop round and see you." So he come round with his missus, and as soon as he walked in, I could see there was something different in him because we just bounced off each other and we were chatting and that. And then, but as he's left, he sort of looked at me and he went, "See you later, buddy."
Goodbye.
Like that. And I was looking at him thinking, this isn't the last time you're going to see me. You know, I'm not going to die tomorrow. You know, I mean, we could all die tomorrow. But I think he looked at it how I looked at the initial diagnosis where it was like, I'm going to die. And it was like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You know, so this is the thing with it. You know, I have heard the bad stories. People have said, I mean, Oxy rang me up and he went,
I love him to bits.
Oh, this was beautifully horrible, all right? Because he went, oh yeah, my friend had that, and she died. And I went, and I've just gone, oh cheers, Oxy. But he went, oh, I didn't mean it like that. It made me chuckle because it was like, that was the thing that happened. You know, it was like, basically they were giving you a death sentence in a way, but now you can live normal.
See, I've only known one person that I know of with MS. Her name was Anne Dunham, and she was on the team with me. Multiple gold medal winning athlete, incredible lady. And she competed a lot more. And she competed internationally until she was in her mid to late 60s.
Yeah.
She only died last year. I don't know how old she was when she died, but it was very recent. It was months ago that I went to the funeral. And like, so my experience of MS is I knew Anne when I was 14, and I'm 39 now, and she died last year.
Yeah.
So, there's another 20 odd years there. But what I'd found is she was diagnosed a lot earlier in life than you were. She was diagnosed, I think, in her mid to late 20s. Don't quote me on that. I don't know exactly.
Right.
And it does sort of, you have bouts of badness, and it slowly gets worse, and you lose different
things
abilities.
come and go with it. Yeah, because it's some. I haven't looked in, like I say, I haven't looked into it yet because I'm not ready to. But so I'm led to believe it's something to do with your nervous system, and is that right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not ready to, then I won't go into it. It's not my place. But
No.
yes.
That's what I got told.
It's a central nervous system thing.
But like you've just mentioned there about the 20, when I spoke to the doctor initially, and he said this is what was confusing him and why he didn't think it was MS, and I didn't say that at the beginning.
Yeah, of course.
And he was saying optic neurosis, but like MS was one of the things as well as the big C. I just didn't want to mention that at the start. But then when he said he was confused because it's normally in 20 to 30-year-old women that get it, and when I started speaking to him,
interject there, Mikey, can you just pull up what the percentage is of the male to female?
Well, males, it's not.
It's a really low percentage, I believe.
Yeah.
We'll carry on talking.
But here's the thing, like when he said that, I was like, so what happens there then once I'd found out? And he says, well, over 20 years, you won't really feel much of a. You might do it. They've took a load of bloods to see what medication can deal with it. I said, but what am I to expect then? He went, well, 10 to 20 years it's normally 20 to 30-year-old women. So after about 20 years, that's when it can start getting really degenerative. And I was like, I'll be 50 or 60. I'll be 50 or 60. I'll be dead then anyway. So it was just like,
how old are you now?
50, yeah.
50. So in 20 years, you'll be 70.
I'm fucking surprised I'm here now with the amount of drugs I took back in the day,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a raver.
No shit.
Still am.
But but also you've just touched upon then they took loads of bloods so that they can get you the right medication. The way medical science is going now, they really do customise. That's probably the wrong word.
No, it's the right word.
Customise the treatments for each individual. It's like
that's how it's changed though over the years.
They're doing a lot of research now into cancers and things, and actually doing slightly different treatments depending on the people's DNA and what it is and stuff, so they can actually pinpoint and treat each person as an individual. So I'm just going to look here now, just going back. So significantly more prevalent in women, who account for approximately 70 to 75% of cases. So
that's why he was so confused.
25 to 30% of cases are male, but then outside of that, it's normally 20 to 30-year-olds the diagnosis. So you being male and 50, he was probably thinking, shit, it's the big C here.
It says age of onset, so women tend to experience an earlier onset of the disease, approximately 28 to 30-year-olds, compared to men, where it's 33 to 34-year-olds.
Well, even
so even there, I'm out of the category.
You're outside.
That's why he was so confused.
Which makes sense, but how great? I mean,
but the ratio. Sorry, just quickly though, the ratio is 4 to 1.
Yeah.
So for every 4 women, 1 man.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 women.
So
you've got 3 women.
There's a lot of the NHS gets a lot of stick at the minute for. It's on its arse. But how good was the service that you got and the treatment you got and the doctor? Because he was able to get what he did, how he did, that was something well outside of the normal.
Yeah.
And he got it within a week.
Not only that, he pushed for this. I've got nothing but respect. Like you say, they do take some shit.
Yeah.
But we've got such a good service there, that's like all the nurses. There was 2 nurses in there that were a bit like,
Yeah.
But apart from that, the vast majority in there, and especially when I moved from that one ward to the other, and I seen that African doctor, that guy to be on 1-to-1. I looked at that. I'd seen the nurses that had worked with me in the other wards, and I thought, this is like this guy. There's only certain people that could do that.
Yeah.
That was next level, man. But every one of them, they were just.
Everyone was great. From what you said, everyone was great. And also going back just the NHS.
Really good experience.
People are slating the NHS. It's getting a lot of stick in that. But if you'd been in America, this would have cost you so much on insurance. you know, I mean, I can't remember. I think it's something like $200,000 to have a baby or something like that in the US.
Mate,
If
people
this
that
was in America, you'd have had to pay so much, and then if you hadn't got insurance, you wouldn't have been done.
if you've got insurance,
Yeah, it's mad.
if you've got insurance, the insurance only covers so much. I've heard of so many people
Yeah.
that have got insurance thinking,
And they've
I'm
gone
going to be
bankrupt.
fine. And then the next thing you know, it's like, well, we don't cover this, we don't cover
Well,
that.
look
And
at
then they
the,
lose everything.
What's his name? The Ben Askren.
Yeah.
So he, I can't remember what it was now, but he had something, and basically his healthcare didn't cover it.
Yeah.
Was it a cancer?
I can't remember. I
can't
watched
remember
it.
what it
I
was. It
started
was
following
something.
him when he was in the bed,
But
and you could see he'd just gone to
mate,
nothing.
he'd gone to skin and bone.
Emaciated,
But
weren't
that's
he?
just a prime example of how it's such a financially based, profit-based system over there. And, you know, I've heard people trying to push for a privatised system over here because the NHS is on its arse. Fuck that. We need to do everything we can to save the NHS.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and I'm a bit, you know, the NHS has helped me. Look at me. Like,
Yeah.
It's obvious that I've had a lot of stuff through the NHS. They've really helped me. They've really helped my dad. My mum's had a few scares when she had a lump in her chest. They got rid of that. Absolutely fine. They've really helped her through GCA and a polymyalgia. They've diagnosed you, saved your eyesight.
Yeah.
And you're on track now to be helped with MS.
I
It's a
am happy to
fantastic
know
service.
that some of my tax money has gone towards that. There's things that I love that I'm paying for, and this is proved, even though I haven't used it, to know that when something goes wrong, these fuckers are going to help
To know
me.
it's there.
Yeah.
I would rather go
Safety
through my
net.
life paying a tax to do that and never use it,
Yeah.
knowing that if it's there, I
We
need
all
it.
know someone that we love that has needed it.
100%.
And it's
100%.
Viva la NHS.
So yeah, I am
Thank
a big,
you,
big supporter
guys.
of the
There you
NHS.
go. You can,
Yeah, you
it's
know
not
what?
even fucking Thursday.
We're bringing it back.
There you
We're
go.
bringing
Go
it
and get
back.
the pots and pans.
Get your pots and pans.
Let's get banging.
Start banging them. Clap away, motherfuckers.
Can I just say, when you were clapping for me, all right?
Why you?
I was an NHS worker.
Oh yeah, he
Was.
He worked on the yeah.
Was.
But at the time of the
During
he
the
was a
pandemic, I
111
worked at
caller.
NHS 111.
Did you?
Yeah, I put in 70 hours a week at that place. Just
Go and
to
get the
make
pans.
But yeah, I wasn't a doctor, but I was.
Mate, listen, if you're
so-
part of it, I don't care what you're doing.
No,
I
that's
don't
it,
care
though.
if you're delivering the food. I
Yeah,
don't care if you're
exactly.
cleaning the bogs. You were part of
Yeah,
the
100%.
the surf. You were
Anybody who works in that hospital or within the service at any part of any cog in that machine is working.
I'm even going to clap for people at Tesco's because you give us our food through one of the
Have you
hardest
heard?
times.
Have you heard Wozniak's bit about that?
No.
Oh, I'm not going to ruin it. It's not my bit. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll send it you later. So let's go back to you.
Was that parallel thinking?
Parallel thinking. Let's go back to you. So you've got MS. How
Yeah.
has that affected your mentality? How's it affected you? What's your plans now?
Well, obviously now my eye is fuzzy. Like if I close that eye and look at you, I prefer to look at you through that eye, you ugly prick, than that one. But
get it.
yeah, it's a little bit fuzzy. I don't think it's going to come back fully, and I don't, Ricky. I don't know because I'm not ready to look into it yet.
I respect that.
Yeah, they've given me all these forms, and I'm gonna look into it, but at the minute, I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready.
What I think, and I might be out of place saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway because we're mates and I can. Your fan base, you've got a big online fan base, and it's fucking incredible what you've built. They follow you. They're really into you and your story and your journey.
Can I jump in there for 1 second?
Well, let me just ask the question. I think they'd be really interested in your journey. They've seemed interested in the diagnosis, and I think just being honest with people online could help so many people.
Yeah, it already has.
Yeah.
I've already had people, like one guy messaged me and he went, you know what, Doug, just seeing what you've gone through from your diagnosis and going to hospital and the way you've dealt with it, I need to go and have my eyes looked into. and that's because of you. So even with my videos beforehand, this is the beauty with social media. I try and see the light in every situation. I class myself as the sort of normal everyday guy that finds the humour in everything. That's how I've dealt with life. Now there's two different kinds of people out there. There's lots of different kind of people, but there's a mate sent me this video about pessimism and optimism.
I remember you telling me.
Yeah, he's I call him Doomsday Rob.
Yeah, I know.
Right, because everything he does is he'll see the bad in everything, and then I'll go, yeah, but why are you looking at it like that? There's this, and then I'll show him the positive. But he's never been able to get his head into that frame of mind. Whereas through me speaking to him, he has. Now, here's the beauty with social media. When I started social media, I was just an idiot online that thought, this is funny, I'm going to post it online. And people started watching it and enjoying it.
Yeah.
Then I started getting messages off people going, mate, I'm going through a really hard time at the minute, and your videos have helped me. And I'll tell you where it's took me. This is before I even started stand-up, and I was just doing videos online. An ex-soldier got in touch with me, and he said, you've been really helping me. And then he told me about his problems. He's got PTSD. He's got a lot of issues. And I ended up becoming friends. We ended up becoming friends. We still are now. His name's Ali. Lovely guy.
Yeah. Thanks for your service, Ali.
Yeah. Thank you. One day he messaged me and he said, "Will you come down and be a guest of honour at a meal at Christmas?" And I was like, "Yeah, all right." So I went down, and it was on a Gurkha base in Folkestone, and he let us stay in the sergeant's mess. Now, this Gurkha base even had a picture.
I've been to them place. Yeah,
man. There was a picture on the wall of this soldier that had howled off a load of enemies,
baddies.
Yeah, and he'd ran out of bullets and that, and he beat him to death with his shoe.
Oh, mate, yeah.
No, he never. It was the butt of his. It was the butt of his gun. But yeah. He basically nothing stopped, and he just carried on. But since then, I've looked into. There's a few that have done that.
Oh yeah.
But I was sitting on a table with the mayor of Folkestone, and have you heard of Aaron Lambo?
No.
Have you heard of him? The guy with the tattoo on his face, the bodybuilder dude.
I have. Yeah.
He was a guest of honour there as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. But a load of people slag him off. But do you know what? I've got nothing. He's a millionaire off the back of what he's doing. So fucking fair play to him. You know, you slag him off as much as you want, but you know what?
Slagging him off on his videos helps him.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to slag him off. I thought he was all right.
He's
done what he done.
In fact, I've had a post that's go. In fact, I'll talk about it on the Patreon. But I've had a post this week that's gone fucking viral.
Go on.
Have you not? Right. So. We'll do it now. Fuck it. We'll do it on the public. So I had my car serviced last week.
Yeah.
And went into the toilet because I waited for the car to be serviced. Went into the toilet, and the pull cord, the disability pull cord, was wrapped around the thing. So I took a picture of it, and just put something like, "Oh, this is." I can't remember what I put. So something along the lines of, "Oh, it's good to know I'm in safe hands if I fall over," because obviously they're supposed to be hanging down.
Yeah.
There should be a ring at the bottom so that people who can't grip can put the finger in and pull it, and there should be one at sort of waist height in case you're stuck on the toilet. Can you pull it? So I posted that. Now, my profile, like yours, is a public profile, so it just gets posted out, and anyone who's showing interest in anything that's related to my content, disability, me, anyone who's showing interest, anything like that, it'll basically, the algorithm will put it in front of certain people to see if they like it.
Yeah.
This fucking bloke wrote me a message on that post, and it was a meme, which he's obviously got this in his arsenal. He obviously posts this a lot. And it said Facebook, and it was the thumbs down, and it says, my profile is not for your advertisement. It is not a way for you to get my patronage.
Yeah.
So at this point, I think it's someone that follows me that gets my humour. Like I think it's a fan or something. So I just put, just carry on scrolling then, bro, or something like that. And then he fucking lost his shit.
Yeah.
He wrote me a message. And he ended it by saying, so he basically thought that I'd posted it directly onto his things and told me to onto his wall and told me to sort my settings out. He went, "Sort your settings out, you cunt."
But he'd come onto your post.
But he'd gone onto my post that had just come on his news feed. The irony is, if he'd have set his settings up differently, he would only see his friends and family.
Or he could have done this magic thing where he put his thumb at the bottom of the screen, pushed it to the top,
well, that's what
disappears.
my first message was, carry on scrolling. So anyway,
how it works,
he then sent another message calling me a cunt, this, that, and other. He said, shut up, if you don't fucking stop, I'm going to spam you. I was like, fucking great, thanks for that.
I thought you were going to say something else then.
the algorithm boost will help me. He went on to about 5 of my videos, and there was this, he'd written this paragraph, and it was something like, I used to really respect Will Smith until the slapping incident, and then I lost all respect for him. Then he copied and pasted it, so it was like repeated 6 times, and then he took that and he posted it on about 5 of my videos.
So basically, he's a knob that's
really
got nothing up there.
Really helped my algorithm.
Yeah.
Then, this is the bad one, he sent me a DM. And this is where it all got a bit serious, because he sent me a DM, and I'm going to read it out word for word. In fact, there's a quick way of me finding it. I'm going to read it out absolutely word for word, because this is what I got sent. Now, I'm all up for dark humour. You know me, I'm not sensitive about my disability.
Jumping into someone's inbox is a next level, so...
This is from the bloke, a direct message. Ricky Balshaw, fuck off before I wrap that walker round your neck. Ricky Balshaw, fuck off before I wrap that walker around your neck, you fucking spaz. Hi guys, do me a favour and go across to patreon.com/Ricky's Unstable. The first 1,000 members are just £1 a month for the lifetime of your membership. You get bonus content, you get early access, and all the fun from Ricky Balshaw's Unstable. See you there.
Now, me calling you that, right, that's 2 mates having a laugh. But if I heard someone saying that to you across the street... We're fucking having it out. I ain't having that shit. So I'm 1 minute.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
so listen, I don't. Are you allowed to say this guy's name? No, we're not saying his name. Let me just say something now to the camera. Yeah. What sort of a fucking geezer are you to pick on a disabled guy like that? What, you think that makes you fucking tough? Does you? Does you? Yeah. Do you? Picking on a disabled guy, you fucking dick cheese. Pick on someone your own fucking size. I'm here if you want to.
Probably do it in 20 years, though, when the MS kicks in.
No, do it now. Do it now before it kicks in, you fucking pussy hole.
But
anyway.
Yeah, you're right. But, like, I did nothing wrong in
that.
Nah. I don't know what his attitude.
That's fucking wound me up.
I know. It wound a lot of people up. And so I did a post about him. So I screenshotted my initial post, and I screenshotted the conversation within that thing and posted it out, and it's gone.
Mate, that's a fucking massive. That's a direct threat. That's like
it's a direct.
Fucking, yeah, that is. Yeah. Imagine an able-bodied geezer. What sort of a guy? You got a missus?
And also,
what's your missus? I bet she's got fucking black eye. I mean, you're an horrible cunt.
Yeah,
prick.
But so I put it out there, and a lot of people have encouraged me to report it to the police.
Yeah, you fucking wound me up. I'm sorry.
That's fine. So I wasn't going to do anything, but the way I've since thought about it. No, I mean in reporting.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And I've since thought about it, because that message hasn't hurt me mentally. It, like, in terms of being called a spaz, it's water off a duck's back. But the threat has worried me.
Yeah.
And there are other disabled comedians out there, which, if my content is turned up on his timeline, there is a very real chance that other disabled comics could end up on his timeline as well. Or Paralympians, whatever he's interested in that I tick the box of, other people are going to be. And the threat has genuinely worried me. Like,
hey,
that night, I was gigging that night, and I was talking to Mum and that, and I made that someone from the club come out to my car and walk me in. And I know that sounds pathetic.
No, it doesn't.
It's very easy for someone to find out where I'm gigging of a weekend. And I was worried to get out of my car, and I wanted to be chaperoned in.
What kind of a person does or says that to someone? Tell you who does it? A coward. You're a fucking coward, mate. You're a pussy hole. That's what you are.
Bang out of order. And you know, the threat has worried me. That's what's worried me, and it's I'm not going to go into it, but that has worried me.
Yeah.
But the name calling and using that slur, something else that's annoyed me is that a lot of people have been telling me to report it to the police and stuff. And I'm not going to name names, but there's someone who's commented to me and sent me a message telling me not to waste the police time with this. Now, I understand the police are busy, and like we've just spoke about the NHS,
It's a direct threat.
It's a direct threat, and it's an ableist slur.
Yeah.
Would this person give me the same advice if I was black and it was a racial slur, or if I was a woman and it was a SA?
If a bloke had said that to a woman,
Or if
I'll
it
come
was-
round and I'll...
Yeah, if it was a threat of a sexual assault,
Good
or
point.
if I was a person of colour and it was a racial slur, would this person give me... Because what's the difference in hate speech if it's against a disabled person or a black man or woman or any woman? Do you know what I mean? Why is it... I've looked at the statistics. I didn't even think it was a thing, but hate crime towards... Sorry, I'm fucking getting angry and on a rant now myself. Hate crime towards disabled people is massively on the rise, and you'd think that wouldn't be the case in the modern day, but looking at the statistics, it's massively on the rise. I've been speaking to a couple of disabled comics about it. I'm not going to mention their names. I don't want to bring their names into it. There's no point.
I am.
They point... No, don't.
I'm not going to mention a name, but what I'm going to say, Ricky, is there's someone that I see whenever their name gets, and they've got cerebral palsy as well, but it's in their speech, so they're slow with their speech, and I'm not mentioning them, but every time I see them mentioned on anything, the comment section is fucking like ableist. It's and the amount of times I'm looking at it thinking, this person's got. If you listen to their jokes, I look for... I don't know if you do the same. I look for punchlines. I look for if it's coming. And their speech is slowed, but I still don't get the punchline, and it hits me hard.
And it's good.
So you're basically slagging them off because of their speech. You're not... Their
because
material...
of their inability to deliver in a way that you like.
But the thing is, their jokes are quality, and the people that are slagging them off couldn't do what this person does. The
point I'm getting at is, and yes, you're absolutely right in saying that, and I think I'm on about someone different, but I know who you're on about, right? I just don't understand, and I'm going to speak to this person, and I'm going to speak before this episode comes out, because I don't want this to look like it's an attack on this person, and they will know who they are, and so I will reach out before this goes out and explain. But I'm genuinely shocked that it's seen as less of a crime, hate speech against someone who's disabled, than hate speech because of racism. Now, I can understand historically that I'm not saying that the racist stuff should be lessened. I'm saying that the ableist stuff shouldn't be categorised.
It's all the same thing.
It's discrimination.
Yeah.
And I've been very lucky through life that when I was at school, you'd assume I went to an able-bodied mainstream school. I was the first physically disabled kid there. You'd think I'd get fucking picked on. But I fired some fucks into a kid on the first day, and I didn't get any more shit than anybody else. I have been incredibly lucky through my life that I have not had any serious shit like this. I've had mates have a bit of banter, but that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, but you get a limit.
Yeah, I've given you the license over years. We've known each other. And it's different. Your mates having the crack to, I would take the mick out of you for your weight. If a stranger did it, it's you fat bastard. But if a stranger said that, there's no need. It's context.
Yeah,
and I've been very lucky over the years that I've not had anyone seriously threaten or be...
It's probably why that hurt you as much as it did.
I'm 39, and it's the first time I've had it to such an extent, and it's fucking knocked me back, because I didn't think that it was that bad.
No, these cunts are out there.
And they're out there, and they're cunts. And it's fucking blagged
Cowardly
my
cunts.
head.
Do you know what it is as well? It's a lot, like we were saying about the people that like make jokes about it and different stuff. There's a limit. For me and you got me... We did a roast battle.
I fucking can't wait for the next one.
Mate, you actually, in this roast battle, he actually said to me, he went, "You better call me a spazzy cunt." And I went, "I can't say that." And he was like, "Yeah, you can. I'm giving you, it's a roast. That's what we do." And I was like,
license to use anything.
Yeah, and I was like, fucking... Even when now, occasionally, we'll be in conversation.
He'll phone me and he'll drop it in, and then he'll go.
Yeah, because in my head, as I say it, I'm like, I'm still cringing myself at saying it, because But
it's different. Like my mates, can do it. We've got that license. It's especially in English culture, we take the piss out of each other.
Yeah, of course we do.
But when it comes seriously,
out the blue from just
a threat
a cunt
from a stranger, it's fucking. I would never dream of having a dig at someone's physicality, race, ability, disability,
Do you know what
gender,
it is?
sexual orientation. I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I think it's bottom feeder humour, and it's like when people say, "Oh, you can't say anything anymore." You can. You're just like, why do you want to alienate someone in an audience when you could make all the audience enjoy it? You
100%.
know, and don't get me wrong, you should be able to talk about anything, because there's some jokes, there's some subjects people say, "Oh, you can't touch on that." I've got a joke about a subject that people say you can't touch on, but the joke is actually on their side. But at first when I start talking about it, you see people go, "Whoa," and then they about Thailand, and where it's like, "Whoa, where's he going with this?" But then the end of the joke is basically saying
it's
that
a flip.
it is a flip, you know.
I think, you're absolutely right. You can joke about anything if it's done right. Doug, I'm sorry to cut the conversation short,
No.
but we are going to have to go. But will you stick around and do a bit more for the Patreon?
Fuck off.
Because I want to carry on this chat, and there's a few more things I want to add to it, and there's a couple more things I want to chat to you about. So before we sign off, do me a favour, look into that camera there and tell them where they can find you online, buddy.
Well, I've changed my name online, right? Because I had 3 different socials with 3 different names.
I'm so glad you've done this.
And everyone was saying to me, "You need to put them all together so people can find you." And I have now. What I've done is...
Can I just say, just before you say this?
Yeah.
Do you know the last episode we edited?
Yeah.
And I did, and we released, it was the same fucking week that you changed it.
Yeah.
So the last episode, you have all your old socials, but then you changed it the week that we released the episode.
We released it.
Okay, so if you watch the last episode, forget everything I said. And
where can they find you now?
I am Doug Carter Comedy on Facebook, Insta, and TikTok. I am changing it on Facebook again, though, because a lot of people still, like, there's some people that will go, "You need to go and find Random Waffle Bollocks," and I'm not called Random Waffle Bollocks anymore. It's Doug Carter Comedy, but I am going to put in underneath the artist formerly known as, and then put that in there, you know. Doug Carter Comedy on all the socials, and it has made a difference now, because when I mention that at the end of gigs, I'm getting new followers, whereas before it was like, you can Doug Carter on this, Doug Carter Comedy on this, Random Waffle Bullet, and it was like, and so there you go.
So we will. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong camera. We will, of course, put it all in the description. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, really appreciate it. We are going to go across to Patreon now. If you're one of the patrons, come across. That's fantastic. If you're not already one of the patrons, you can still sign up for £1 a month. It's going to be that for the lifetime of your membership. It's £1 a month for the first 1,000 members, and that money will go back into this podcast, so we can bring you more interesting content. We can go out and do stuff on the road. We really have big plans for this podcast, and anything you can do to support us would be great. As I say, it's just £1 a month. Patreon.com/Ricky's Unstable. Again, I appreciate times are hard, and even £1 a month is a lot of money to a lot of people. Completely understand if you can't afford the £1 a month. What you can do to support the podcast is hit that little subscribe button, like anything you see from us, share anything, comment. Any interaction that you can give on any of the content that you see from us really does help us to grow, and I'd really appreciate it. So as I say, we are going to go across to Patreon now. Again, patreon.com/Ricky's Unstable. See you there. Tell your mom, tell your nan, tell your sister. See you soon next week. Bye-bye. Cool.
Doug, say goodbye.
No. Bye.